Hello everyone and welcome to a quick primer on how to get started with DaVinci Resolve and prepare your footage for color correction. This tutorial is for those of you who never heard of DaVinci Resolve or feel intimidated by the seemingly intricate interface. I'll walk you through how to install it, preparing your system and project environment with the optimal settings, importing footage, and creating timelines. Let's get rolling. If you don't have DaVinci Resolve installed on your system yet, head over to Blackmagic Design's webpage and download the latest free stable version of DaVinci Resolve for your own system. From there, go ahead and install it. By default, on a new system install, you will be presented with this project manager, which is the place where all your projects will live. Resolve organizes your projects into databases, which is their centralized approach to project management. By default, your projects will live in the local database. It's probably best to create a project for each shoot you're working on so that you can keep things neatly and organized and separate. To create a new project, click this New Project button, give it a name, and click Create. This following step is very important, so keep it in mind each time you create a new project. Go ahead and click on this project settings at the bottom and make sure that your timeline resolution is set to 1920 by 1080 HD. This will make sure that your system performs better even if working with 4K clips. Remember to change the timeline resolution to the original clip's resolution before exporting. Next, make sure that your timeline frame rate is matched to the normal speed frame rate clips from the camera, 23.976 or 25 frames per second, as this cannot be changed later. This is valid regardless if you intend to import high frame rate clips for later slow motion manipulation. Make sure that your playback frame rate mirrors the timeline frame rate you set previously. This usually would be automatically set once you change the timeline frame rate. Next, head down to Optimize Media and Render Cache and make sure that your Optimize Media format and Render Cache format is set to a codec that your system can manipulate and can perform well with. For instance, on a Mac, that would be ProRes 422, or on a PC, DNxHR HQX, or even uncompressed 10-bit if your system is capable of processing it. For the working folder, set this on an external drive so you can spare the local drive for any processing power needed by the software. This location will default to a setting we'll cover in the next steps. Next, head over to the Color Management tab. Make sure that your color science is set to DaVinci YRGB and your timeline color space is set to Rec 709 Gamma 2.4. Click Save and let's head over to the Program Preferences. For media storage, this is the location that I mentioned previously where you set your Resolve cache on an external drive. Remember this location and make sure to clear it as often as you can because it will accumulate in time and take up space. You can clear it by simply accessing the folder and clearing everything there. Then let's head over to the User tab and from the Project Save and Load, make sure that Live Save is unchecked, otherwise Resolve might end up crashing. And set your project backup to whatever you feel comfortable with. I recommend 10 minutes to be a balanced sweet spot. In the meantime, make sure that your project backup location is set up to the same location where you set your cache files. Let's save these changes, head over to the media page and start importing some clips. Once you copied and backed up footage off your card, it's time to import it into DaVinci Resolve. You can either select and drag your footage into the media pool or navigate directly from the media storage, selecting them and dragging them directly into your media pool. If you happen to have a variety of frame rates in your shoot, like I have here these that were recorded at 60 frames per second for later slow-mo manipulation, make sure to organize them into separate smart bins. To create a smart bin for a particular frame rate, click in this empty space and select Add Smart Bin. From here you can give it a name, for instance 60 frames per second in this case. Then select frame rate and give it the correct frame rate value. Click Create and you're done. And this way I will have them grouped by frame rate. You can also add bins to organize your footage into an organizational structure that makes sense to you. Since high frame rate clips are typically recorded with later slow motion manipulation in mind, we'll have to conform these to our timeline resolution, which in our case is 23.976 frames per second. For that, select the clips, right-click and choose Clip Attributes. From the video frame rate, instead of 60 frames per second, select 23.976 and click OK. The high frame rate clips will disappear from my 60 frames per second SmartBin and appear along with the other ones recorded at 23.976 because now they are conformed to the timeline resolution, and they automatically are slowed down. Let's head over to the cut page and start creating a new timeline. To create a new timeline, hit Ctrl N on PCs or Apple N on Macs, give it a name, and hit create. Next, bring up your footage into the source viewer on the right and start trimming the regions of interest with the keyboard shortcut I for an in point and O for an out. Click the append button to add it to the timeline, then do the same with the other clips. You can also add multiple in and out points from a single clip. As you go through your footage and build your timeline, make sure to check for any possible trademark issues, blurriness, shaky footage, or any technical issues like these. And at this point, your clips on your timeline are ready for color correction. Well, I hope this quick primer got you excited to give Resolve a try and discover the potential of how this tool can help you with an efficient video workflow. Don't forget to check out the Color Correction 101 series as the next step from here. See you later!